Hello, Spirit of the West 2021. My name is Dr. Nathan Stark, and I'm your director, and I'm very excited to welcome you to the new season. We are going to be back. We're going to be performing. Football is back. In fact, nationwide, football is back. I had the great pleasure to attend the National College Band Directors Athletic Band Symposium this last weekend, and I can tell you from Washington to New Hampshire to Texas to Florida to Arizona to California, everywhere. That's what we're talking about, is how we're getting back together and how we're picking up the pieces and moving forward with this full football schedule. And MSU is no different. In fact, we're better off because we were in person all year last year. So speaking of that symposium, I wanted to share some, I think, really cool news that came out of some of the meetings. One of the schools did a study in their region about what motivates students to join their university marching band and what their big concerns are. And what I thought one of the cool things was that at least apparently nationwide, the primary motivation for students joining the band is because they like band, like performing, hang out with friends, just the atmosphere that's involved. And I'm really proud because the Spirit of the West, this is our primary thing. You know, our goal is to focus on the student experience and make that experience as great as possible. And that works well because that apparently is what most incoming students want as well. Of course, the scholarship plays in. Montana State has one of the best marching band scholarships that I'm aware of, certainly within public schools especially. Thinking that there's a lot of schools out there where you have to pay to be in the band. We don't pay you. So that $1,500 tuition waiver, which goes up your returning year to $2,000, is a really, really cool thing that we're pleased to offer. So, you know, the motivations are there, and obviously if you're watching this video, you're already interested, if not already signed up. So let's talk about the concerns. So this study showed that the primary concern that students have when it comes to joining their college marching band is the time, balancing school and time. And of course, that's something I hear all the time too, is like, do I have time to do it? Well, I'm here to tell you that the answer is really yes. In fact, not only yes, a huge yes. What we have found is that students tend to actually perform better academically during the semesters that they're in marching band. Even to the point where there's counselors and advisors out there that are advising their students to stay in band because it tends to keep them, you know, on track for their degree. Now, we don't know exactly why that students tend to do better with their marching band, but we suspect it has something to do with forcing students to think about scheduling, think about deadlines, and really plan ahead. As we know, that's a great recipe for success. And, you know, putting you in that situation where you're doing that automatically is going to lead to success. The other thing to consider is, you know, psychologists and counselors will tell you to do the sorts of things daily that marching band provides. A brain break, a couple of hours in the afternoon to free up and do something else. You know, let this side of the brain relax so that you can do something else and you come back refreshed and more productive. It also gets you outside, gets you running around, and we all know, you know, the benefits of that, from, you know, the hormones that are released to endorphins, you know, even vitamin D that you get from being out in the sun. Those are all important things for your well-being. And that is nothing to say from the friends that you're going to meet, the relationships you're going to have, everything from meeting people from different majors to meeting people in your same majors and complaining about the same classes. So it is a very healthy activity. Beyond that, you got to think about your experience at Montana State or at college in general. What are the things that are going to define your time with us for the next 4 years? Is it going to be, you know, working on papers and taking tests? Probably not. You're going to do that stuff anyway. It's going to be things like the band and going to the events and football and convocation and hiking and all that sort of stuff that Montana offers is going to be the thing that defines your experience. So yes, it's wise to be cautious about your time, but my answer is you can absolutely do this. And I've had hundreds of students that have balanced this even with double majors before, and you can too. Couple of things to think about as you're planning. So there's 3 things that typically eat up some time during the year. The first thing is band camp. which is an all-day, everyday thing, and it's pretty exhausting, but it's only for, the first 4 or 5 days, and it doesn't conflict with any other classes, so you don't have to worry about that, but you do have to make sure you're there, so make sure you're looking at those dates and that you're planning to move in on time. The second thing is our rehearsal schedule. We rehearse 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You sign up as a class. It's MUSI 155, 2:10 to 4 o'clock p.m. You're signed up, you'll show up, and we'll get rehearsal going. The third thing and the variable thing has to do with those field performances. So I'm talking about football games, talking about our high school band event, and even that potential for playoff games, which we've seen before. So those are on Saturdays. They typically take most of the day. A short home game is probably 6-hour commitment, but that's 5-6 hours on your feet. So it's not really the best time to come home and plan a heavy study session afterwards, although some people certainly do it. And then there's some days that are a little bit longer. Homecoming is, same with the Cat Grizz game. So that's something to think about as well. Overall, you'll probably log about 200 hours over the season. Like I say, most of our students have had no problem with this, and by the time they're fourth-year members, they talk about how the band has provided them guidance, friendship, and that meaning that has defined their whole college experience. And I know it can be that way for you as well. As we get through the summer, I'll continue sending a couple of updates. Things to just remember. You do have to enroll in that class if you're going to be in the band, and make sure you got band camp scheduled. And the third thing is, probably in a couple weeks, early July-ish, maybe late June, we will send something called the membership agreement, which allows us to get a little bit more information from you and allows you to commit 100% to being in the band. We need your t-shirt size and your shoe size and all that stuff so we can get things ordered and be ready to go. Anyway, have a great summer. Please let us know if you have any questions, and I will stay in touch.